Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Dr. Cammy and Karen Go Keto, where we are transitioning from a standard American diet into a different kind of diet, which originally started out as keto and now is looking more carnivore for us. We're really finding that we enjoy the carnivore food and what it does for us, how it makes us feel. Well, I'm speaking from I think Karen agrees, right? Okay, thumbs up. So anyway, we're talking today about what we're going to call this video, and we are thinking about resilience versus resilient because we were talking about, and I was thinking stay the path because we're really trying to stay the path and trying to be resilient and have resilience in us going carnivore and staying carnivore.
Yeah, and I think for both of us, the last day or so was not so successful. So we started to talk, and I wanted to talk to Cammy, and Cammy wanted to talk to me about our eating off plan. Mine was yesterday, and I think hers was yesterday too, or maybe the day before. But sorry, I did a little journaling after I ate off plan, and it's my journal entry started, Karen, why did you eat that cheesecake yesterday? And I went and had lunch. I had really great food. I had Greek food. I had posted a short about the bread that I did not eat. And I know during my conversation with my luncheon companion, we talked about Tim dying. We talked about death, and we talked about health, and we talked about diet, and we did not order dessert. And then as I drove home, I thought about going to the Cheesecake Factory, and I stopped by the Cheesecake Factory and I bought a piece of not even my favorite. I bought the Celebrate cheesecake because that's the one I hadn't had in the longest time, and it's like birthdays. It's like a birthday cake cheesecake, and I think that kind of is saying that I wanted to celebrate my birthday, that I didn't feel like I got the birthday celebration. I don't know, maybe I'm just making that up. I mean, clearly I'm just making that up. But I wanted to talk to Cammy about just why. I could have stopped. I didn't eat the whole thing. I only ate probably maybe a half, maybe a third of it, and the rest of it's in the car and I'm going to throw it away. I don't have a problem with that, but I just have a problem with what is it that called to me? Why did I take the first bite? Why did I Now, I will say too, I ordered one of their fruity iced teas, which is sugar-free. It's doesn't have any sugar. It's unsweetened. And it's great. And it is something that I really like. Maybe there was like maybe that anchored me to the decision, right? Because if I go have cheesecake, I can order that iced tea that I really like. Possibly. Cammy, what was your off the rails?
Well, I wanted to continue and talk about yours if that's okay, because like I was thinking just what I heard coming from you right now is, you mentioned in passing that you guys talked about Tim and his dying. And I don't know, for me, like I'm always the emotional one. I'm the one that like, I'll say, oh, that'll come in passing, but then that will be in retrospect after I go and eat the cheesecake and I go back and I look at what really was it in that conversation or something that tugged at my heart, that will be it. And then it will be a soothing thing for me. So I don't know if that had anything to do with why you did it. I mean, it could have been like you wanted to celebrate your birthday more and just continue on the celebration, But so yesterday I ate, how did I start it? I started with onion rings before my hair appointment. And then after that, I went to frozen yogurt. And after that, I went and ate. And so I got this frozen yogurt and I got what they recommended, which they had this little sign out there that said reindeer. And what you did was take vanilla ice cream, you put peppermint in it and hot fudge and a little bit of Reese's peanut butter cups. I hope this doesn't trigger people, but kind of the details I think are important because that's what we deal with in our life, right? We're around all this stuff that doesn't say I'm sugar or flour. It says I'm this, more specific. So anyway, I remember the first 2 or 3 bites were so delicious for me. I could taste all the different flavors, the warmth with the cold and the crunchy with the soft and, all these different things. And then when I got toward the end, I was just eating it to just finish it. And I had this shame and this guilt, and my receptors were all full already. And so I didn't quite finish it, but I decided, and the other thing that I wanted to mention really quickly was that I've been listening to my videos that I'm taking to become a sugar detox and addiction coach through Mike Collins's No Sugar Summit. And I'm on the video right now on relapse. And it's said in there that relapse is very normal, that relapse is going to be part of your life, and that what you do is you learn from it and you don't degrade yourself. You don't belittle yourself. You don't feel like a failure. It's part of the process. And so that made me feel more comfort. I'm like, hey, look, this is part of the process. When you quit alcohol or when you quit heroin or when you quit smoking pot or whatever, you don't have to go back to all those things. This involves food for me, and I do have to eat and nourish my body. So it's a very different type of addiction that I feel like I'm working with. And being okay with doing this and realizing that, hey, what can I learn from this? This is normal for me. Let's look at what I can learn from it. And so what I learned, the main thing that I learned and then I went on and I ate some Chinese food, and I had some dumplings that, had flour in them. And then I ate a little bit of rice, but not a lot. And then on the way home from all that, I ate more. I ate some licorice, and I ate a chocolate shake. I went and got a chocolate shake.
So where did you get the licorice and the chocolate shake?
I got the chocolate shake after I left Dave's house. I got the chocolate shake on the way home at Carl's Jr. And then I went to get gas, and then I was late, but I went to get something at Home Depot, and I bought the licorice at Home Depot. And so by then I'm kind of just off and running. I'm just mindless. It's interesting, the whole thing. There's different phases. Someday we could talk about all that, because I know I'm not alone. But the thing that I really learned is, when you go off plan, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I mean, I'm getting ready right now to talk about 90 days, no sugar and flour. But when you go off plan, take the 4 bites. For me, I'm like, look, take the 3 to 4 bites and then throw the rest away and enjoy those 3 to 4 bites and move on in life.
Well, I have a different take on it. And I do have something that I just want to bring up before we forget. You just said that at one point, then you were just off and it was mindless. And I would say the way you described it, it was not mindless at all. I would say it was very determined.
Calculated.
Yes. But I think therein lies the issue. So my notes in my journaling say that I didn't see any red flags about the cheesecake, about stopping to get the cheesecake. First of all, I think that just stopping, I'm pulling off the highway to exit to take a different route home so I can swing by the Cheesecake Factory. That in itself is enough of or it could be enough of a detour that could get me to stop, right? That could say, hey, you don't have to pull into this parking lot. You don't have to get out of your car. You don't have to lock the car and walk to the door. At any of these times, you can turn back and just go home. But I did continue with, the whole project. So my question is, do you really believe sugar is a poison? And my answer to that question is yes, I do. I do believe that it is a chemical and it is terribly harmful to people. And it is a poison. But the interesting thing that's coming to me right now is it's not a poison like Drano, right? If it were Drano, I would put it on my tongue and spit it out because it tastes terrible.
And it might kill you a lot. It'd probably kill you a lot quicker.
Right. And the effect is so immediate that you say, I can't condone this. But with carbohydrates, Karen's 4 C's, cheap, crave, condone, and convenient, right? It didn't take that much for me to drive to the Cheesecake Factory, get out my car, purchase it at the to-go counter, and take it home into the car and just eat what I ate in the car. And I've talked to Cammy before, and I've set up my own alleged boundaries of don't eat in the car. If you have a rule that says don't eat in the car, then that would not have happened. I either would have had to have eaten it at the restaurant or taken it at home and eaten it at home.
I'm going to go grab my journal. It's right around the corner because I said the same thing about poison. I'll be right back.
Okay, so then my question to myself in my journal was, if you do think it's poison, then why is ingesting poison acceptable? And I clearly accepted it. I can't say that I didn't. I don't think that I relished the idea of eating it as much as you did when you ate your food that was off plan, but I will say clearly I was looking forward to it, or I would think I wouldn't have done it if I wasn't looking forward to it. So why is it acceptable? And these were the answers I came up with. Because it doesn't feel harmful, that the harm is distant and not immediate. But the sugar is a slow killer like cigarettes are, right? It tastes good, it feels good, but slowly it's doing something to your body. If nothing else, it's making me not being able to not eat it. So feeling like I have no control over that aspect of it. But we've got the diabetes, we've got insulin resistance, we've got heart disease, we've got cancer, we've got depression. We know all of those are affected by it, all those metabolic diseases. Probably fibromyalgia, arthritis,
Pain.
chronic pain. So, as you said, what I wrote in my journal, the big difference is that you need food to survive. You don't need cigarettes to survive. Because you need food, you can justify eating bad things. It's a huge leap, right? Because healthier, it says because you need food, you can justify eating bad things. But maybe the real way to muddle through this or charge through this is to say, and some people do say this, some of the people on YouTube say, it's not food, right? It's something that you can eat, but it's not food. If food is defined as something that nourishes your body, it's not food.
So then you're saying that you just think of it more in terms of poison. Like
So if you can switch around the definition, accept the definition that it is that what we're up to is eating things that nourish us and staying away from things that don't nourish us, then maybe it's a little easier to do than it is to say, oh, I just ate something bad.
Yeah. So can I read from my journal? Because I was writing in this journal as I was eating this yogurt and getting like a sugar high off of it.
Mm-hmm.
So what I said in this journal, the paragraph I said here was, I'm happier when I'm high on sugar. And I definitely feel that way. I'm like, everything has more color, more vibrancy, more promise. I feel more comfortable in my own skin, like safer and more secure. Very interesting to be thinking these things. I'm drinking Diet Coke. I tell myself it is refreshing when really it is sweet and poisonous. And those two things are not good for me. Sweet and poisonous are not good for me, a sugar addict. But yet I get high off of this stuff, like biochemically, emotionally, it's physical, it's emotional, it's mental. And then I like feeling that way. So what I'd like to do is find something that's legal and moral to make me feel that way without it being
Well,
carbs and sugar.
Well, so I have in here justifying eating sugar. I just wanted it. Maybe the desire for it can't be explained. Because I do feel that part of it is, let's see if we can understand why this is. And maybe we just have to be with and accept there's no explanation for it. Because if you can
I
live
like
with,
that thought. I like that. I like entertaining that idea. But I mean, we know that it's related to dopamine hits and it's related to biochemicals that are going on in your brain. And when you feel sad, you want more dopamine and serotonin and norepinephrine and GABA
well,
and all those things.
but that's explains, and I did say maybe the desire for it can't be explained. I think what can't be explained is the inability to control the acceptance of not controlling that desire.
Okay, I'm going to write that down. And we'll talk. Do you want to just talk about that in our next video?
Well, let's just keep talking. We
Okay.
can kind of pause here while you take notes there.
Okay, wait, I
And
missed it already. Shit. The acceptance of
sorry, it's
the,
done.
we got to rewind the
Of
tape.
denying. Oh yeah. So we know that we know what causes the desire is the dopamine, right? So we have to,
So what do we have to do?
to get to the point where we can be with, yeah, let's just rewind because I said it so much more succinctly.
All right, guys, we'll see you on the next video.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.